Hi, it's Ashleigh from Sweet Dreams Bake Shop, and today I'm going to be showing you a few different cookie techniques today. So as usual, we're starting off with just regular pipe and flood consistency and piping cookies. Now, if you saw my video from the other day, this is actually a clip from that video because I used some of the extra cookies to create the cookies I'm going to show you today. This part of the technique is fantastic for beginners. All you really need to do is you need to wait until the icing has become slightly opaque and has a little bit of a shell on top. Then you take some sort of balling tool or whatever tool you have available and gently create some texture. I'm also using my spatula here to just straighten out the edges. I've seen a lot of cookie decorators out there use this technique to create the tops of champagne bottle cookies, and because of that technique with that usage of the painted gold, I decided to paint these with a little bit of a rose gold, but I'm going to kind of ombre it out just a little bit. This is my water activated paint palette. I have a love-hate relationship with this paint palette. Sometimes it works really well and I find certain colors work well for me, but sometimes it's a little bit too watery, and even when I use less water, then I find it doesn't paint well. So I'm still a little bit on the fence about this palette, and I have used it several times, but I would like to try some other palettes that this company has as well. Maybe they work a little bit differently. Now, if you don't have water-activated edible paint, you can definitely use a little bit of luster dust with vodka. So now we're going to get started on the actual succulents themselves, and I'm using those 3 different tips. I also end up using a leaf tip as well. So with this tip here, this is just that straight tip you saw with no tapering whatsoever, and you're basically going to create this succulent the way that you would a rose. But instead of flaring out the petals, you're just going to keep the tip super up and down, and you're just going to move that cookie. You'll notice I'm kind of twisting the cookie as well as my hand at the same time. And when I end off, I try my very best to make sure that the petal is all touching all the way around. It's not flared out at all. In order to pipe succulents like this, or flowers, or anything 3D with royal icing, it's all about the texture. So if you want to get your texture up to this level, what you need to do is add more meringue powder. I used to only add icing sugar, but the trick here is to add icing sugar as well as meringue powder. In fact, you want to add a little bit more meringue powder than icing sugar. If you add too much icing sugar, it just creates a paste. So I'm using a different tip here, and it's just a curved tip, and I'm kind of just squeezing it and then releasing. And you can form it however you would like. I am just sticking with this rounded pattern. I'm showing you one last variation of this succulent. All you're going to do is you're going to create a little center, and then you're going to wrap it around. Now, this is very similar to a rose technique, except we're not flaring out the petals. But it's not like the first succulent either, where we kept things up and down. We're actually putting the petals more inward. I use this same tip the way I also use the second tip as well, where I just squeeze it and then I lift off. This just creates a little bit of a different look. Now, to bring everything together, I like to do something with filler. So you want to make sure that you have some sort of tip that you can use to fill in all of the gaps and tie everything together. I am using a fancy leaf tip here. The reason that I say it's fancy is because it creates that vein down the center of the leaf, whereas a simple leaf tip that just has one V creates a more simplistic looking leaf. To tie this all together, it's all about the placement. So I really wanted to make sure that the top was fully packed in with all of those leaves and succulents, and then you'll notice that I do drag down some of those leaves. I think they look quite striking, all green, but if you want to go that little extra step further, I'm using a little bit of blush pink petal dust here. You'll notice that some succulents do have kind of a pinkish or purplish tone, so you can go ahead and just use that petal dust really sparingly on here. You can also use actual colors mixed with a little bit of vodka, but I just find that the petal dust gives it a really natural flair. This cookie design is super versatile. You can use it for lots of things. You don't just have to limit yourself to cookie sticks. You could use this on circles, you could use this on hearts. And succulents are used for a number of occasions like baby showers, weddings, and birthdays. Now let's get into the pricing of these cookies. So these cookies are relatively small, but they do have a lot of detail. So I would charge $4 per cookie. However, I would have a 24 minimum, bringing the grand total to $96. And as per usual, my pricing guide is in Canadian dollars. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you can be part of the Sweetie fam. Right now, I'm still uploading daily, so make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when I upload. Also, be sure to comment, request, or ask a question. I love hearing from you guys. And don't worry, I haven't forgotten about your 10K shoutouts or questions. I'm still working on that video.